folks, thank you and welcome. Here you have me, myself, Ash and Music. Thank you for being here on this lovely Monday evening here. Joins me in the UK. But yeah, it's just for me to show off how I make music, projects that I'm currently working on, and if you want to give me a hand, then go for it. Brilliant. So it's my current track that I'm currently looking at. It's just called the Royal Aegis, or Aegis, I forget the pronunciation. Currently having a nice fake Jack Daniels and Coke. And of course, to follow that up, a nice cup of green tea in the most beautiful mug that's ever been created. But so, just to start off with, let's have a little look. Let's have a little look-see at the piece so far. And let's see what we're going to do to it today. The raw form, the majority of it is there. There's just a lot of small things that really pick it up on. Some bits I'm really proud of with this so far. So if we have a little just this beginning, so listen again. Nice little backdrop. Bow. Love the kind of the really boom hits you get with that. Just in fact, once the percussion starts coming in. As at this point, you start to get the build up of the other instruments as well. So you've got those lovely pizzicato strings there. Just have a little listen to those. Just have to build it. Really like the juxtaposition there, so you've got these really powerful and really big horns going on. So. Yeah, mixed with that, the percussion you've got going on, these really grand sounds. Then opposite that, you've got these really short, most delicate string things going on as well. So string here with the other one, double bass going on as well. That's just doing non-held notes. So the strings here, you've got this lovely bum. So just to remind you, the horns, you know, these will be long held notes. Especially the bass, those dirty bits. Bow. Then let's go back to the strings here, along with the other slightly shorter bit here. start adding other bits in, so we've got the double bass there. Need to adjust the timing of those double bass bits, me think. There is lovely tremolo sections of the tremolo. If you don't know tremolo, so we go back and forth very quickly whilst playing. There's a bit of harmony there, maybe. Let's have a little look, see what happens if we add a bit of harmony into that. Let's just do a little copy pasta. Sure, why not? Once we have that, so it happens, it goes up and down. That's not too bad. That's a positive change already. As always, say frequently. Always say frequently. I don't want to go over the amount of times I've had to then redo stuff because of my own incompetence, but that's another story for another time. Unless you really want to hear. My god, apparently I've become famous by buying followers. That's exciting. From 2 people. Thanks, Barb85 and Fumarola114. Seems completely legit. Completely legit. Alright, let's pop. Where was I? Alright, let's get rid of the solos. How does that all sound together? Let's take it from the beginning because I love the beginning. Look how powerful it is. Still not happy with this little bit here. I did originally have like a whole motif planned for that, and I wanted that to be its introduction. Right now it just seems like an odd bit of filler. Can it work? Well, I don't know. I'll leave that up to yours ears. Let's just navigate into it again. I still really love that military style drum that I've got going there. Really simple but can be really effective. It's just that fairly standard military beat, military style. Given this is called the Royal Aegis or Royal Guard, I'm still flipping between names. It just really helps to give that, this is like a medieval fantasy. This person controls an army. This is the Royal Guard, or whatever their names might be. The Day Stalkers, if you want to be a bit vampiric, or I don't know this. I've played enough D&D games in my lifetime to know some of the odd sounding things. Let's listen to that Lincoln again. With more percussion, please. too much on. So that little lead indicator. It works, it's functional. Again, just listen to this little string motif again. Very reminiscent to just a little bit here, just a little bit more developed. It's like I'm thinking about it. Again, same as repeated. If it's just the fact that it's so many repeated over and over again, which bugs me. What if we just take this down? Not doing myself. What's this bit here? We could make it do say before any big changes. In fact, what we're doing, I need to change that bit. Not quite. Is that right? Don't think so. Still not quite there with it. Is that it? Oh, closer. That's the badger. Alright, does that fit in the hole? No. I quite like that. At that middle section just again. Just keep the same idea, just developing that theme a little bit. Love those kind of bits in the backgrounds. So we've got quite a lot going on in this next bit. I just want to let's just actually bounce those properly, because that's going to bug me otherwise. I don't know why it's doing that already. There you go, catch the trumpet melody. It's kind of it's almost like a counter melody to the horns that are going. Have a listen to those two together. It's doubling up occasionally. The trumpet's taking the main lead there. Trumpet's just said to add a little bit of emphasis. Trumpet being a tiny bit more powerful, which is very much what's needed sometimes. Let's listen to it again. Is there more we can add to it or take away? It's almost worrying that it's getting a little bit cluttered there as well. There's a lot going on with the strings. Let's just see if we can hear those on their own. Still worried about the timing of the double bass, but you know what? I'll get over it. If not, then you'll hear with me on this journey. So just the strings of this bit of it. You hear the short bar, it's a bit off time there. That's not quite right. I wonder if it's just down to that, because it's really, really standing out this bit here. Let's have a look, see. Set the snaps down to 37. 464, that's ridiculous. Let's just make sure we solo the right ones. Boop. In case you don't know, this software I'm using is Cakewalk. Basically a free DAW, because I am poor. Joys of having two small children. Love them to pieces, but money go bye-bye. Right, so let's listen. Yeah, it's not quite there, is it? Zoom. Zoom. You know it, right? There you are. Are you what's been throwing me off? You cheeky sausage. I appreciate this is probably the most laborious thing to be watching. I do apologise. But this is all part of the process. I'm a teacher as well, so I'm very used to doing these kind of things. Not quite right. Oh, are you white? Where'd you come from? Where'd you come from? Is there another hidden one? Yes, there is. Where'd you come from, little fella? Where'd you come from? It's not quite right. It's really not quite right. As Siegfried of Katharina would say. Are there some cheeky hidden ones there? Up there. The length doesn't help too much. A lot of them doesn't make, because these are deliberately short violins, part of the BBC Symphony Orchestra VSTs. Actually, shouldn't make too much of a difference. If we shorten the ones, they don't cross over. Okay, let's take you back to the beginning of that wee section. Aha. You, sir. Or madam. Aha! This middle one's a bit too long. À mon avis. Aussi pourvu. Top notes, you okay? How you doing up there, guys? Is that going to work? I don't think so. Nope. That's still not quite right. Those bad boys there. Just no doubles. Laborious. But I'm teaching. And I start to show this kind of stuff to students, it's always the part that kind of goes, "So that's boring." It's like, don't get me wrong, this isn't the most, hey, you are, you cheeky sod. It's not the most exciting part of composing or arranging or producing, whatever your kind of chosen line might be in this kind of circumstance. You know what, I find it so satisfying though. Like when you suddenly start to hear it all fit together, it makes me very excited. Almost worryingly so. I got excited over the tiniest new details from the Final Fantasy VII Yuffie trailer. So you know what? Maybe I need to get out more. Oh wait, there's a pandemic going on. Can't do that. Actually went, because I'm a teacher, I said that like 8 times now. I'm a teacher, by the way. I actually went into school today for the first time in quite a while. As per the instructions of our beloved leader. Yeah, whether you agree with the political situation or not, it was actually really nice to just get back out and try and crack on. Those aren't quite right. Now, I apologise if any of the slightly different lyric legs are bugging some of you, because I'm sure for some of you, they might. That's better. Alright, let's go to my old friend copy and paste. Make sure they are all the same. That's the same, that's the same. Ah! Change that back to 16ths, because then I guess like that. Snap. A boom. A boom. Let's move that one away, because that's my ending. Oi, I said boom. Boom, thank you. Does that match up? Nope, doesn't. I tried. Is that a tiny bit off? Oh, that's why. I failed you. Right. How does that sound now? It's like a chugging train. Repeats. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Get the idea. Let's pause that. Okay, does that sound any better? Have I just made it worse? Oh no. What a numpty. Bring the volume. Pick up. The idea is that this is meant to be like cyclical, so it is easily able to repeat over and over and over again. This is sadly not for a commission or anything like that, but the idea is that, say, if you enter like the Grand Palace for the first time, having made your way, you journeyed your way from the local town, you finally managed to get an audience with the Lord Commander or even the King or their right-hand vizier, and just as you enter, the grand archways suddenly hit up, and as you see the golden emblazoned of their armour, their red cloaks of a deep cleric, you suddenly hear the summons. Enter. Doors open. Not that quick, because doors. Looking around. Just imagine, like, as you enter this grand wave of the thrones directly in front of you, it's just such a grand space. It's decadence. Might be that it's a banquet hall or it's just a reception area, but it's meant to be big. There's meant to be a lot to it. Over like what's less than a couple of seconds. Perfectionist. What? Why is that bit bugging me so much? What if I'm going to take those bits. Where is it from? It's from 17, isn't it? There we go. That's not dead on. Dead on. Okay, sure, fine, but that's weird. There, that's why. Been a long day, folks. Then we're going to have this going on a bigger run. Maybe work. I might just mess this up completely. Hey, I got to do like that. Fine. Never usually fuss about that computer, but now that's why. Computer, I will end you. I know it's a user error. Yep, fine. You. Over it. Now. Okay, sure, fine, I'm sure there's... How does that sound? Just on its own. Not quite. Nah, the second bit's messed up. Yeah, it's got major. Maybe. Ah, there we go. If I stuck to my music theory, I'd have known that would have worked. Bum 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 bum. Cool. Yep, get the idea, streams. Thanks. Always like to listen in context. Picked up on that until now. Listen how powerful these blipping trombones have been. Combine that with that again. Little bit dubious. Does it need this bit as well? Maybe not. Work on its own, actually. I actually quite like that. So short violin, as I've dubbed you. Say, because I've done so in a while, and I will cry, and you'll see me cry on air. There's nothing wrong with that, though. Is it entering at the right spot, though? This is a question. Yeah, it is. Come on. I'm okay with that. if you're listening, please just say something. If you're listening, I always love to get fresh opinions. What was I about to do? I'm going to remind myself of these end bits over here. Are they of any use? Oh yeah, I did have this slightly quicker bit going. Yeah, so initially I had this as my linking section. Have a little listen. It's one of those, I like the idea, but I just think it didn't lead in well with that original beginning bit. Let's see if we can just... I'll try to show you what I mean. Zoom these out so you have the beginning bit. Very familiar now, I'm sure. And then they go straight into this. Again, it's an interesting idea, but for then that to go straight back into it would have been fine. It's just a little bit too jarring. One of the big things I've made mistakes in the past is trying to put too many ideas into a piece of music. Whereas this, I'm trying to keep that really, really clear and concise. Ba 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 as my theme. I'm keeping these other ideas. I'm sure I'll get to use those at a later date because that's how this works. Right, now you know what, this one's at the beginning, but plenty. This is just this latter part. So truncating their melody. I think this. Set the volume. So where does it need to be higher? Where does it need to be lower? Yeah, it definitely needs to be less from there. Is that the right marker? Seems a little bit off. Page 11, 26. You are? Okay, fine. I'm just imagining things. It's because that ends a tiny bit sooner. Cool. No worries. Boop. Boop. That's no. Let's take that down up until the end. You can have those and jump around. to get back louder there. Stairs or jump. Zero. Get back there. Jump. I don't really need to do the tiniest of fades up. Sure, why not? Let's go crazy. That works. Okay, we're getting there. Double bass. What you better be sounding like at this point? I better hear you, buddy. Better. Nice and deep and growly. Just as a double bass should be. Is that intentional? This one's fine. I actually don't think that needs too much to it. Cello might need a little bit more. Oh, what a horrible jump that was. To start the tiniest bit early. It's not the 16th, 30 seconds. Or would that be a demi? Semiquaver. Demi semiquaver. Fine. One, two, three. It's that horrible little slide it does there. I don't like it. A little bit earlier. Okay, 1, 2, 3, off. I don't know. How does it sound with the rest? I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. Still curious. It happens so bleeding often. The amount of times I'm just kind of going, I have to do the tiniest of tweaks, and I just end up going back to how it was at the start. Anyway, but it's experimentation. If you experiment, don't come up with anything new or exciting, and that's why I have 2 kids. Like that. I'm less of a fan of that one coming off too soon, but let's have that one up there, I think. What are you doing there? Go away. How'd you get there? I hear what's throw me off? Okay, that's better than I thought it would be. I'm going to try something. I'm going to be bold. I'm not going to record. So I've got my MIDI keyboard equipped. What's coming first, though? I could do this on metronome, but I prefer to do it this way because then it's fitting with everything else. Fine. Fine. Maybe I done goofed. Again. Maybe, do I not even need the jump? I might not. Was I going back to how it was at the start? Just like I said I would. But I tried. You can't take that away from me. We've done it enough of that. Thank you, percussion and tremolo. Trebacello. Again, it's getting quite a lot towards the end there. Part of that is purpose, but it is starting to sound a bit muddy. Not in a fun way either. Do I want you that loud, Trems? I don't think I do. It's cool, but it's quite an angry, quite an aggressive sound. If you just listen to that. Tremolo on strings, particularly on cello, especially when they're in the lower registers, the lower notes, really good at building up that kind of tense feeling, or sometimes like a bit of like it's anxiety inducing. I suppose tense is probably the best way to describe it, but it builds up anticipation. That's another good way of saying so. Anticipation. And then when you have that anticipation then released, that's a huge payoff and a huge moment. It's really well done. A lot of film, a lot of game music, and just to match up with the visuals that go alongside it as well. Can I think of any examples? Not off the top of my head. I've had a long day. First day back at school. Hey, I'm a teacher. I can start doing a tally of the amount of times I say that. But yeah, long day. First day back at school. And then back home and brain. What am I deliver it. Oh, that's right. So these things, these doing a similar thing. Lovely harmonies there. If I do say so myself. Sometimes what this harmony is just really, really nice and simple. Like a common, I don't want to say mistake because people are free to do what they want to, but if I think about this from like when I'm assessing other people's compositions, or if I'm looking over it, and so many people are so keen to get these harmonies all over the place. You've got to have your perfect fifths here, you've got to have your minor thirds here on top of your diminished sevenths, and that's fine, yeah, it's lovely, but a lot of the time, especially for medium music, so game is my personal medium, less is more, because it's meant to be accompanying a visual thing and something that usually the people are playing and interacting with, so you've got to be careful to not distract too much from what's going on screen, because if they focus too much on the music, they're not focusing on the scene that they're in, they're not focusing on the character development, the speech, or various other things that are going on, so you have to be used sparingly so it piques interest but goes along with what's on screen at the same time. Thank you, Crescendo 2020. Yes, experimentation. All experimentation all the time, in so many ways. Right, so again, just those really, really small. I just absolutely love those kind of really, really interesting harmonies. Not even that complicated, because you can have a little look-see here. There's different octaves. Same. I'm a really big fan of when you have the higher register instruments, and the violin in this case, it's using more of its lower register, whilst the other instruments then play the higher registers. I just think it sounds really interesting, and I like to mess with string players because I'm kind of an arsehole. So, just like a small little bit again. It's really good to learn the music theory of crescendo. I say that as someone who, in my younger days, you can tell from my receding hairline, I'm not exactly school age. Let's put it that way. But I used to poo-poo it a lot when I was younger, kind of thinking, I was playing my guitar, I know what a perfect fifth is. That's great, I obviously know my music theory, and then I went to university. I started to realise that I knew jack shit. And I specialised in composition and performance whilst I was at university, and I made what I thought was really interesting sounding compositions, and at the time they were kind of saying, you should try doing this and this, or look at modulating and doing this, or all these lovely music theory words that I don't mean to patronise. If you don't understand, I do apologise. And then I listened back to them when I had a slightly more mature mindset, kind of going, wow, that'd be basic. Come on, Ash, and sort your life out. It's only recently, the last couple of years or so, as my kids have gotten a little bit older, where I've actually started to kind of go, okay, I know and understand a lot more now. Especially, I've been a teacher for the last 6 years. I teach music. One of the big things that I love teaching is composition. And what I'm a big fan of when I'm teaching is teaching people music theory without actually them knowing that I'm teaching them music theory. I'm a big fan of teaching them how to do something first, and then going to them afterwards, kind of saying, "Hey, by the way, what you just did, you just modulated around the circle of fifths." And they're like, "Wait, what?" So then they know what it looks like, what it feels like, what it sounds like. Then they just know the words that are going alongside it as well. only a little bit older than me, Crescendo, so cheers. Yeah, I mean, YouTube vids are, just for so much, they're just a fantastic source. Tell you what, let me pop a little site in for you as well. You might have come across this. This is one that I use when I is it the right one? That's not the right one. Because you can have, there's like loads of apps you can get. Music Theory Helper is a fantastic one. Though I'm just about to link in chat, musictheory.net. Really, really good for practicing exercises as well, whether it be on phone, tablet or computer. I have students use this, a bit of a time filler in many, many occasions, but it's a case of, right, you know what you need to improve your knowledge, go, learn something, and it's really, really good. Is there any particular part of music theory that you think you find a bit more challenging, or that you don't really understand, or is it just like you're at that, you just kind of started, so you don't know? Also, guitar. I was one of those people who picked up guitar when I was in my mid-teens and then didn't put it down. Whereas I started on classical piano when I was tiny, centuries ago now. Again, really can't recommend musictheory.net. Enough. Really, really powerful, really, really useful. Right, I was bragging about my harmonies here. Then how does that go with the cello? I'll see if I'm happy with the cello. Just do the same thing. Wonder what if. I quite like that. I quite like that. Not that. Oh, I do quite like that. I'm so modest. Yep, absolutely. The amount that you kind of learn, you kind of go, yeah, especially with guitar. I've known a lot of blues guitarists one day. I'm a bit more of like a heavy metal guy, as you might guess, depending if you're going via assumptions on my appearance. But very, very much one of those shredder guys. I thought when I was younger, yeah, you can play fast, therefore you're the best in the world. Bollocks. But I've done a lot of blues guitarists in my time, and the amount of times they'd be self-taught, and they wouldn't know the music theory. And that kind of goes, it's like, oh wow, that's really interesting what you're doing. That's like, what, are you kind of doing a Neapolitan sixth or something like that, just to pull a random music theory thing out of the air? And it's like, they're like, what? It's this, and this. It's like, oh man, just sounds good. It's like, yeah, and that's something. I've had many discussions with many people before within both my profession and then amongst about music snobbery, let's put it that way. And people absolutely insist, like, oh man, you will get nowhere unless you understand music theory. I massively disagree. You can know what sounds good. You can know sounds that fit, like say, like myself going into music composing or game composing. And you understand that, well, this sounds like this would fit this kind of scene. I see this character, these are the kind of things that come into my head. So I don't need to instantly kind of go, oh well, yes, well, this character here, I can see there's definitely a lot of use of minor sevenths to portray their esoteric nature, and then of course I think the chord progression would just have like a 2C5-1 for the cadences as kind of a standard. I feel like I just like have a pipe and be sipping some port as opposed to some rather tasty whiskey. But I know that's a massive stereotype, but that's what comes to my head when I think of people who are being quite snobby about their music theory, and it's also very dismissive. Like the school I work at A lot of really, really talented kids. Probably about 2/3 of them can't read music. Yet they come up with some really interesting and really fascinating ideas and compositions and sounds. Like, yeah, these are kids who, like, when we're doing performances and concerts, they learn their music either by ear, which is a tremendous skill in itself, or they use the old YouTube videos. Places like Synthesia is great for learning piano pieces. And again, they just get preferably shat on by people because, oh, you can't read music, you're not a good musician. Sod off. You're not nice. And I want nice people in my life. Right. I'll listen to that a little bit again, then I think I can move on from that section. Volume jump there. So where was it? Back there. So it's you. Now I did adjust that intentionally. Doesn't it need to be a bit more gradual? Oh, that's why. What a dingus. Not that way. Let's try that. Doesn't it need to be a bit more gradual? Might do. Let's spread you out a wee bit. Bit more happy with that. Oh, don't get me started on modes. Phrygian, the classic heavy metal mode that like Crazy Train, classic and really speaking initially in Phrygian mode. That's the thing I like an untrained musician, because both musicians are trained just in different ways. It's a similar way in like you'll have a trained musician would know that they're playing the Aeolian mode or something like that, but then a musician from ear would just be able to listen to it and then play it. It's the same way, especially with some of those kind of musicians who are really, really good with the theory and really good at sight reading, reading music. A lot of the time you'll find that they're very mechanical players. By that I mean like they can play something and play it perfectly well, but there's little to no interpretation behind it. Like it is exactly as is written. And you know, for a concert player, that's brilliant. That's fantastic. That's what you need. But I'm a very emotive and emotional guy, and so I love to see and feel expression in music. For me, music is all about expression. It's all about feeling. It's all about life. And if that's not going into it, then from my perspective, it's my own biased opinion. I think that something is not quite right. You know, if you just get to that kind of mechanical level and you're really good at it, it just sounds like a technical exercise. There are many things that are technical exercises that you could use, but it's when you see one of my guitar idols, still is to a certain extent, is John Petrucci of Dream Theater, and he is fantastic at playing not only technically fantastically and speedily, but also putting those levels of emotion into it and not just doing that via all the bends in the world, which is a very, very, very common tactic amongst competitive musicians, is just to go bend, 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 bend. That's and then do the old with it as well. It's like that. That's not emotive. You just look constipated. Which, if you are, fair enough. That's a you thing. But if you're not familiar with some other John Petrucci work, Liquid Tension Experiment, Paradigm Shift. Really, really interesting piece of music. It's got that kind of prog level of that kind of prog metal level of being almost exclusively technical, but it just has some really interesting sound to it as well. Right, so we've had that last little section there. Don't like the fact that goes down too low, so let's just pop that. Jump. I just love a bit of Petrucci. He's just quite an interesting guy as well. Like, he's done a few like videos of his like his guitar rig setups and what he does going into a concert, going into a gig, or he's done some like instructional videos. He's quite a funny guy. I'll give him that, and I always quite like it when you get that level of musician and they're not really anal about who and what they are. Yeah, he knows he's good. I mean, geez, how can he not? But at the same time, he's still quite humble with it and quite interesting. Another one like that is Paul Gilbert. Paul Gilbert of Racer X. He does rely a bit more on the technical wankery. Like, he does a lot of really speedy and, like, because he's got quite big hands, excessively technical bits. But his instructional videos are great to watch. Oh, good old Steve Vai. I love a bit of Vai and Satriani. Oh, jeez, Crossroads solo. Ah, yeah. I know it well. If I remember correctly, just want to double check something. Yes, because you have the more classical bit played by Ralph Macchio. Is it Paganini? It's a classical piece of music. I swear it's Paganini. If I still plays it. Really awesome bit. I swear it's Paganini. It'll come back to me. If not, cry. Hey, if you've got a quarter speed, that's still pretty darn good. It's just you find those blocks every now and then, especially if it's like something specifically technical, and especially if you're self-taught, like it seems like you are as well. It can be really hard to get that kind of reflection to recognise. I know this is something that I might not necessarily get or do well, but how can I get it? Because sometimes it's not just as simple as just, right, I'm just going to keep playing it over and over and over again. It's beautiful, isn't it? I'm always a big fan of when metal musicians take classical pieces and turn them into metal pieces. I'm a big fan of music from the Romantic era, so people like Beethoven, really dark, gloomy sons of bitches, really interesting to listen to, and I'd love to hear them full on like symphonic dark metal or something like that, or even going back to earlier, so people like Bach in the Baroque era. The harpsichord was basically a guitar. It followed the exact same principles in that. Strings were plucked, was usually a leading, would play some lovely little speedy ornamental sections. And yeah, I'd love to see some. I actually tried to do it at university, but I wasn't as good as I thought I was, sadly. Tried to do some Bach harpsichord concertos on guitar, and I got a few through, but there was some I was just like, oh no, this is going all over the place, this is not easy. Yeah, I hear you with the small hands. I am a measly 5'9", and I don't have the biggest hands in the world. This is a fairly big and chunky phone, and my hand just about covers it like that. Whereas I've seen this bassist especially, one of the bassists I used to gig with, like his hand would be that, but they would just like stick out like with a couple of knuckles. I'm like, how are you this tall? To be fair, the guy was 6'7", 6'8". just means I have to work a little bit harder. And the exact same with the piano as well, because I haven't got that as big a stretch. That means I have to be really, really quick and speedy, but still accurate. This is one of the problems I had when I was younger, is that I would be really, really speedy, but not accurate at all. Like, maybe 1 in 5 notes would be as intended in time, and back when I was 19, 20, I just kind of thought to myself, I'm playing so fast. I'm so good, bro. For some reason, I was American. I was in my early 20s. Who knew? But it's a tricky one. Oh, what have I done? There we go. Right, let's have a listen to this end. Too much. It's not terrible, but it's not quite there. Travis, you've got some extra bits. Do you need those? Let's get rid of the clutter. Right, let's go. Don't need that. Let's hear it in contexts. Almost held on just a little bit too long. Like this, where da ba 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 off. Currently, kind of going ba ba. Kind of like it whimpers out instead of ending on quite a strong force. But let's see if we can sort that out. Just these 3 bits here. Oh, hang on, that happens. Bus it. By bus, I mean bounce. I know the terminology. Does that work? I don't hate it. I don't think it's there yet. What is it about it? What is it about Then ideally you'll just go back to the beginning. That's the idea. Excuse me. that little linking section, which just isn't quite there, but why not? Thank you. I am a perfectionist to a fault. Weirdly only with music. Most other things in my life, less so. I think like a lot of people, I have this sound that I know that I want in my head, and it's translating it from here into whether it be a computer, guitar, my own singing voice, or playing on the keyboard. And it really bugs me. I'm like, no, that's not quite right. The problem is up here it changes quite frequently as well. The first version of this that I did, which was probably back in January, I started this piece. Now I've not been able to. Yeah, I'm not on it every day. I wish I was. I would love to do this for a living, but got a ways to go for that yet. But I might get an hour, maybe 2 hours a week, and that's not just on this piece. I've got, quite a few pieces on the go. Some of these are completed. Some of these are arrangements of various game pieces, that helps for the YouTubes and things like that. But there's some of my own ideas as well there, which are things that are either for sale or projects that I have worked on. And oh god, what point was I making off on a tangent? But yeah, things change really, really frequently, and so because I haven't had as much time dedicated, that's why I started setting up these Monday sessions for myself. But I'm really grateful to you and a couple of people who are kind of sitting there watching me babble on incoherently, and for yourself for engaging with the chat as well. But this started out as just me experimenting with some new sounds that I got. Is it this lot? Yes, I got Free Orchestra from Project Sam, which is still available. If you do have a DAW, I do recommend it. It's got some lovely, lovely, lovely sounding parts to it. And I used that, play with the horns, play with the percussion. I was like, oh, this sounds quite regal, quite grand. And then I got another new pack just a month or so ago, which is the BBC Orchestra. I think that one. Which is just much better sounding strings. Just one of my biggest problems has been having really, really poor VSTs or virtual instruments. And now the combination of those, I'm like, oh, okay, what if I add this? Oh, and then this, and this will sound quite nice as well. Oh, and this, and this, and this, and I just get, this started off with just like 2 or 3 lines, like up here, now has all of this. I'm really resisting the urge to add too much to it. I tried to add a harp at one point. I was like, no, wrong theme, wrong idea. Maybe if they use a theme for something else. They have with the big jumps at the very, very beginning. So that's that ba 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 ba. It's the same interval, so distance between the notes from the C to the G. I think Star Wars, I want to say it's in B minor. Should have set my keyboard up, but I could have experimented. But yes, it's the same interval, which is why it has that kind of vibe. The way Star Wars does it as a bit to be like a sign of hope. That kind of it's leading to somewhere. Those certain intervals have certain feelings, especially within film and game music, that are evocative. So for film Star Wars and New Hope, they're this idea of ba 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 ba, having those quite big but quite perfect, technical term, perfect fifth, perfect octave interval, not interview. That's something very different. Really helps. What program we're using? This is Cakewalk. This is a free DAW. It's Cakewalk by BandLab also do like an online only VST and an app, and I use it a lot for school. It's really, really good. It's quite in depth, but it's the kind of DAW you use doesn't really matter too much. Like you can get your Cubases and your FL Studios and your Pro Tools that do have a few more things at their disposal, and they do have a few more quality of life things, but with this free one I'm using, it's all about the VSTs, the virtual instruments. Unfortunately, they're expensive. They're really bloody expensive. If you want the best of the best, it is, and say you're wanting to do this seriously, like for a living. I don't want to say seriously because you can do it seriously, but still for fun. If you want to do it professionally, you do have to invest a good chunk of money into some VSTs. For example, the ones that I've currently got my eye on, so the Metropolis Arc, the Line 1, it's about between £500 and £600 UK currency. They're beautiful sounds, but blooming hell is that expensive. And that's I've currently got one of my guitars, one of my old Ibanez's on sale to try and cover that on eBay, and I'd love to be able to get that. Star Wars has ruined that interval. It kind of has. It kind of has. It's just I kind of go yeah. Star Wars got there first. It's the same way. Like with where is it? I forget it's the tremcello. No, it wouldn't be that. It's like where you have like the psycho strings, so those really, really sharp, crisp ones. Everyone goes, psycho. So no other film could ever use them again unless they want to be referred to as, you're stealing that music from Psycho. What other ones are there? There's loads of lovely tropes. It's the same way kind of tropes, like you have the harp going up and down mystically is always going to be like going to a dream sequence, or you have the diddle-a-doo, like flashbacks or things like that. There's so many tropes like that. I'm sure they kind of came from very, very innocent and interesting origins, but it's the fact that it's parodied. That's the word I'm looking for. It's parodied so much right now. It's funny. Right, Linkin bit. Still not happy with you. Why just play it on its own? I don't mind it. Let's play it from the beginning. Get out of here, Star Wars. Something else with it. Maybe. Let's do it again. No, from the beginning that needs to be longer. Okay. Okay. What would be good for that? I would say I'm gonna do it. Another track. Log cello. Let's zoom in a wee bit. Where did that start before? Dang. I was always singing I've finally done this. Something like that. vary the rhythm a little bit. Boop. Boop. What am I doing? Send help. I wonder. Give that a go. Just go like that. I wonder. Let's go. Short and sharp. Okay, and double bass, you doing anything at that point? Yeah, you are. Can't really hear it. Just bump you up. I can literally just have it for that. That seems a bit awkward. Jump, beep. Let's try the rest of the strings. It is there. What if? I think it's going to be one of those background things. That's a bit better. That's a bit better indeed, Ashen. There's nothing wrong with getting someone doing the legwork. If someone else has already done the hard work, why repeat it? Sometimes it can be a good learning experience, yes, but especially with something like that. Nothing wrong with that. Same way we'd consider a lot of older music is just a development of some of the folk music that came before that as well. It's one of those, it's not necessarily something new. Doesn't need to be. So for myself, like with this, the kind of that one little theme that I've based most of this piece on, the ba ba ba. It's a hunting call. Ba 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 ba. But all I've done is then just added in, so I've done there ba ba ba, which is a perfect fifth, like we kind of discussed earlier. That Star Wars interval, ba ba ba, which sounds lovely, sounds grand, sounds regal. But because I'm a sucker for a piece in a minor key or a sad sounding key, I've then just added a few minor notes into it. So we just have that. Some of that kind of hunting call or that rallying call that you'd hear on the battlefield in various insert your fantasy film here. Not just fantasy, to be honest. Still used though a lot of the days in One Day by buglers. Also helps on brass instruments, which is often played on. It was an easy thing to do because you just had to change your embouchure, your lip movement and pronunciation. Go into it again. bit more full. That bit fuller would be a technical term to use, I suppose. Short and sharp and snappy here. Big bit. I actually quite like the short sharp how to do that. I think that works really nicely. Especially because a lot of the notes in this are quite short, sharp. Like, a little bit distraction, but I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting no interaction from a stream whatsoever. Very much my first time doing this kind of stream, so I really appreciate the chatness and the comments. I really like that. So thank you, Crescendo 2020. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're just going up in your perfect fist, you're just going power chord shape, power chord shape, power chord shape, power chord shape. And it's such a nice, easy climb as well. And this is a nice, easy way to go up the neck if you're thinking of speed as well. And again, works. Works by wait. Could work major or minor wise, or if you're using one of the ever so funky modes. I'm glad you enjoyed it as well. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the feedback like that. Let's double check that ending. I do like it, but something's just glaring at me and I don't know why. Maybe I'm getting sleepy. Maybe. Let's try. You, and you. Wait, get back here. No, not you. Oh, you as well. Curse me if you're using all the bloody instruments. So just shortening the didn't really change it at all. I'm still okay with that. I'm just being fussy now. Right. Might want to listen through, do a couple minor changes, then I might call it for the night. Better than a little bit. It does. I'm not trying to convince myself. something with the violins and violas here, because they just become just left off here. That doesn't seem very fair. Especially when... I just love that harmony. Am I being a bit narcissistic? Maybe. Am I okay with it? Yeah. Fulfilling but never truly stable. That's kind of interesting. Like you kind of want a piece that feels like it's gonna like resolve. So like it's playing the correct notes in the chord, or if you do like a broken chord or something like that, but then it doesn't. It'll jump to like either a clash or like a diminished note or an augmented note or something like that. So you kind of have that, or it's almost like you're teasing this kind of, oh, this is going to be good, this is going to be good, this is going to be good. Oh, that's offsetting. What happened? And to find that with lots of just quite ethereal or quite dreamy music in. I think they're potential to speak about my composition genre, but I'll deal with it. Right, what was I just about to do? Yeah, I'm thinking about the violins and violas. This is something I feel I can do right now. I worry that if I try and add anything new in now, I am just going to end up hating it when I look at this another time. Yes, I say the Bohemian Rhapsody is very interesting theory-wise. It helps all the musicians from Queen, if I remember correctly, have like a musical background, whether it be that they did it when they were younger or they accrued it as they were older and became more fluent in their instruments. Brian May, my all-time guitar idols, I absolutely love the man. Just such always an interesting melody sound. Like his guitar really rings out, but it's not cheesy. And it's not just the sound quality either, it's like his choice of notes for his various solos. I love them. One of my favourite heavy metal bands, Death Clock, which actually started as a cartoon parody, but the lead musician, Brendan Small, who does like the guitar as the vocals, amongst most other things as well, he cites Brian May as a huge influence, and it really shows, like with his solo work, because even though it's shredding, it's still really melodic and really interesting. Yeah, you know what, I am going to save, and then I think I'm going to leave that for now. But yeah, Christian, thank you very much for chatting. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate just your general comments as well. It's really appreciated when you say that you've been enjoying what I've just been doing. Like I said, I went to this kind of thinking, who's going to want to listen to me talk for the best part of 2 hours whilst I'm making music. I kind of thought I want to set aside myself time for making music anyway. So if this is something that people enjoy, whether it's one person, whether it's 2 million people, then I've done a good deed today. I appreciate that. I'm just popping in the chat as well. There's a little YouTube link as one of my other songs that I've done. It's a slightly heavier sounding one, since obviously said, roots in heavy metal. It's quite chunky. Nothing like amazingly technical, but it's one of my more chunkerific pieces. Recorded off my Epiphone Goth, the cheapest chips guitar, but it's got quite a nice chunky sound to it. It's not necessarily at the higher ranges, which is a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. Dave Gilmore. It's one of those just reminding myself. I'm just, yeah, Pink Floyd. Duh. Yeah, again, thank you for stopping by. This is going to be a regular thing on Mondays. Yeah, if you're interested, please feel free to stop on by. But take care, have a nice evening, and take care of yourself. Thank you very much.